the most beautiful lift in the world, arguably the most desirable one you can ever have, the 100 kg snatch. Maybe you've been feeling strong enough to hit it for some time now, but it's just not slotting into place. I see this all the time, and it's something that one of my new clients, Chuck, has been struggling with, and I'm going to show you exactly what is holding him back from hitting 100 kg so that you can put it into practice too and finally hit that elusive number. Let's jump into this analysis, and first of all, take a look at his lift and get a clear understanding of where the limitations are. So often people don't realize it's the simplest changes that you can be making to your lifting. If you get right in building a good foundation, can lead to you easily hitting 100 kg and more, and I'm going to guarantee him 100 kg and the rest inside the next 12 weeks. But let's watch this analysis. Let's start off by just playing the lift. Okay. It's not bad, and 9 times out of 10 you'd look at that lift and go, well, yeah, it looks strong, but what's going wrong? He's not using the strength that he has, and I'm going to show you a couple of key things that stick out to me in my mind as the reason why we're seeing struggles. Let's look at this start position first of all. Now, one of the most important aspects of the start position is create tension so that you can hold good shape off the floor, ultimately so the big strong muscles in the lower body can do the work in the initial phase of the lift. If we're not creating tension at the start, it makes it very difficult for us to do this, and we'll rely on the upper body. Now, if we're relying on the upper body, those muscles are nowhere near as strong as the lower body ones. That's why you can feel strong enough to do it, but not necessarily be able to execute it. So first things first, we need to get the legs doing the work from the floor. Let's take a look at this. Now, you'll notice in this start position, and this is common that I see this, right? In the setup, you'll see how his hips are sat really low, so below knee height. The reason why people do this is because it's a much more comfortable position to sit in the start than the one you actually need to be in. When you're in the correct position at the start of the lift, your legs will absolutely burn. It means that everything's engaged and the legs are ready to be able to do the work in the first phase of the lift. Starting with the low hip position, like what we're seeing here, makes it very difficult for us to make this engagement. What you'll also notice is at the start, the arms are bent around the knees. When we see this happening in the first phase of the lift, or as he starts to take tension, a lot of energy is wasted before the bar has even left the ground. So you can see a lot of body movement, and in that point where there is body movement, the load is shifting into the upper body and into the back, making it very difficult for us to create vertical extension through the middle phase of the lift. So the first things that we're going to be adapting and changing to this start position is this. From the start, what I'm actually going to get him to do is move the feet out a little bit wider in this set position. By moving the feet out a little bit wider, this will actually instead, if we were looking at this from straight on, it's going to get the knees sitting more directly above the feet in the setup position, and we're not going to see this kind of shape from the start. Naturally, this is going to have to get him to sit the hips a little bit higher, which is where he kind of comes to in the initial phase of the lift when he's starting. So by doing that, we're going to be able to get better tension in the first phase from the floor. In addition to this, what I'm also going to get him to do is always set up with his arms completely straight. It's a simple thing, but it makes a huge impact on your ability to be able to apply force through the floor and get the load moving straight away when you take that tension. Now, in addition to this, what you'll notice, and again, another simple thing from setup, is as he's setting up, he's looking down at the floor. Now, Juk is snatching around 80-90 kilos at the moment, so he's within that 10% range. But as you'll see, as he gets to knee height, this happens. And again, it's super common that I see this. The knees have driven outside the foot line. Now, commonly what coaches will talk about is driving the knees out in the start. And the idea behind that is to create tension in the posterior chain, but also to allow the bar to track straighter in its first phase when it's moving from the floor. But if you get in the correct start position, the bar will be able to track straight anyway. And we create tension in the start position of the lift by thinking about spreading the floor. This engages all the muscles in the posterior chain, and by setting the shoulders back and down and keeping those eyes up, again, we'll create tension through the back. This will allow the legs to do the work at this crucial phase when the bar is passing the knee. But what you'll notice is as the bar's passing the knee for Jukka, the knees are again still outside the foot line, which means that in order for him to find extension, we need to extend at the ankle, the knee, and the hip. To actually rise up onto the toe, what has to happen in order for us to do this is the knees have to move in, actually losing then a lot of the tension that we were trying to create in the first place from the start. As a result of that, the upper body is then going to take over through the middle. So that simple change to knee position will allow the bar to stay closer as it's passing past the knee. It will allow the chest to lead more through this middle phase of the lift because the eyes are going to be up from this position. And that will in turn allow the legs to get involved during this phase of the lift. Let me show you what I mean. What you'll notice is as I start to come into extension, you'll notice how my knees start to move forward, creating knee bend here, which is exactly what we want to see happening, okay? As a result of us creating knee bend, you'll see my chest and my eyes are up. You'll see as I then start to progress through the lift, the legs get involved to create trajectory through the bar. Whereas you'll see for Juka, upper body is taken over, bar is away from the body then, and we're relying on just momentum that's been generated in the first phase of the lift. Now from this point, what you'll notice with the bar being away from the body, he's going, please land. From here, he's then relying on his upper body to try and pull himself down underneath the bar. And when all the weight is in the upper body, it makes it very difficult for us to be dynamic with the feet. As a result of that, the shoulders are leant back, the bar's away from the body, and this is why you'll generally see this shift forward into the receiving position, because as he leaves the ground, he's still trying to pull on the bar, and he's trying to position himself into the receive position, and it's not ideal. So although from the outside looking in, this looked like quite a good lift when we played it through in fast speed, you'll see that he's missing one of the most crucial parts of the lift, which allows the legs to do the work through the middle phase, which ultimately allows us to lift much closer to where our true strength potential is. By making these changes, how the hell am I gonna do it? Now, it's a couple of things. First things first, what I'm gonna get him to do is do an exercise called snatch jumps. This is going to teach him to be patient as the bar passes the knee and keep the load in the quad. When you think about jumping, you wouldn't jump with your knees outside your foot line. You jump your knees directly above the feet. This will help train him to think about keeping the knees in that position when he wants to create vertical force through the middle phase of the lift. The other thing that I'm going to do to get him used to feeling the bar staying in contact with the body at this crucial part as the bar is passing the knees is I'm going to get him to work from the top down. Now what I mean from the top down is we'll start off the bar at waist height, he'll lower the bar down, all the way down the thighs, all the way down the shins to his start position, and then he'll progress through the lift. Naturally, by slowing this phase down to train the body where the correct position is, as he starts to become competent with that, he's going to start being able to inject speed when the bar is reaching mid-thigh at this point, but the bar is going to be in the correct position. This is going to allow him to make good contact through the mid phase of the lift, which is going to allow him to, again, capitalize on what is really a great lockout position with the arms and a great sitting position. Sure, we'd like to improve the mobility in the hips and the ankles, but this is not what's stopping him right now from snatching 100 kg. This just goes to show the importance of having the correct analysis and building a plan out if you want to strategize your ability to be able to snatch 100 kg. And it truly is achievable for anyone. If you've watched this video and some of these points have hit home with you, you want me to take a look at your lifting and build out a clear structure for you to start mastering your snatch and hitting that elusive 100 kg inside the next 12 weeks, then all you need to do is drop a comment below this video, say snatch 100, and I'll see you very soon.